Hi, in Transform Your Space Quick Tips number 10, I provide a preview of a course that I just published. It's a course called Transform Your Space with Qi. And the part that I'm sharing with you here is on small spaces. How do you arrange a small room so that there's still ample flow and energy in the space? If you like what you see here and you'd like to learn more, I've put a discount code for the course. It's just $10 with this discount code down below. So please check out the video, enjoy, and if you like it, sign up for the course. Thank you. May the flow be with you. Welcome back to Transform Your Space with Qi. In this module, we'll be looking at how to optimize the Qi in challenging spaces. In the first part, we'll look at a challenge that many of you live with, the challenge of creating flow in a small space. In the second part, the challenge of regulating flow in a large space. I recommend that you watch both of these videos even if your space is neither too big nor small, since you will be able to see in these videos how to go beyond placing objects on a floor plan to actually making them live in a real space. Throughout these videos, I will be making recommendations that apply to other kinds of spaces as well. I'll walk you through 5 different aspects of planning out a small space, although I'll also note other details as they appear on the slides. The first and most important step in planning a small space is to clearly define the different functional zones in the space. Small spaces, like studio apartments, often have to do double or triple duty, with dining, seating, and sleeping areas encroaching on one another. It helps in such instances to have at least visual borders defining each functional zone. On the slide, for example, you can see that this small room serves as both a living and dining room. They managed to squeeze a table and seating for 6 in a relatively tight corner. The side of the sectional creates a visible division between the two zones, and the windows on either side of the table keep diners from feeling hemmed in. Backs of couches in sectionals and area rugs are effective in defining zones. If you have a sleeping zone in the space, you might want to use dividers that provide more privacy, such as screens, tall shelving, or floor-to-ceiling curtains. Note that the flooring, walls, and ceiling are clad in the same light tone of wood, which helps to create the illusion of a larger space. We'll come back to this point in a later slide. The next thing to pay attention to is the scale and proportion of furniture. Let's look at the example on the slide. With its single pedestal and circular shape, the table uses space efficiently. The chairs are streamlined and their skinny legs take up minimal visual space. A big chunky table with 4 legs and upholstered chairs would have made the space feel small and crowded. The sleek, small-boned pieces fit the space just right. This is the kind of thing that becomes apparent when you enter the dimensions of objects into a floor plan. You can see how much space they take up and how they relate proportionally to the dimensions of the room. I'm sure you noticed the large artwork on the wall. By keeping everything else at the right scale and in a limited color palette, the designer of the space was able to add this big impact art and create the illusion of depth on this end of the room. Just because the 3-dimensional objects in space should be small doesn't mean that the 2-dimensional art has to be equally small. In a small space, each inch of the space should be utilized optimally, and the wall is no exception. We will be looking at how art can change the energy of a space and how to choose the right art for your space in the next module. Color is the next major consideration. In general, light colors make things look bigger. Dark colors make things look smaller. Most people have internalized this principle when it comes to their clothes. Dramatic contrast in colors also break up a space and make it look smaller. Therefore, in order to make your small room look bigger, paint it a lighter color and carry the color across all 4 walls and the ceiling. Keep your flooring light as well. We saw this in the photo of the wood cabin 2 slides ago, in which the light wood cladding covered the floor, ceiling, and walls. In the photo on this slide, we can see that the cream color envelopes the space and is even echoed in the armchair and accessories. The brown on the other pieces and the floor complement the cream. Overall, the limited color palette keeps the space from feeling too cluttered or busy. Next, let's look at another dimension of the space that is too often neglected, the vertical dimension. Because floors get filled up quickly in small rooms, we need to go up and take advantage of the space that is available on walls. Here, shelving takes up most of the wall space. The shelves provide much needed extra storage, a means of displaying treasured items, even surfaces for hanging art. If possible, built-in shelves that extend from floor to ceiling are ideal, since they maximize the available vertical space and take our eyes upward, away from the crowded floor to the spacious ceiling. Curtains and lighting also help to carry our gaze upward. Hang curtains from ceiling to floor to create strong vertical cues and the illusion of greater height, even if the windows don't go all the way down to the floor. Hang gorgeous lighting fixtures to affix the gaze to the highest points of the room. I'd like you to also note the selection of furniture in this room. Besides the well-proportioned sofa, there are no chairs in the space. Rather than crowd the room with armchairs or end tables, the designer opted to use ottomans and stools, which take up much less space and can do triple duty as footrest, table for setting down a drink, or extra seating. The coffee table is low to the floor, which helps to raise the height of the room as well. Even though this room is well filled with furniture, all the curvy shapes help to keep the flow moving, and there aren't too many places you can hurt your shin against a sharp corner. The last room was filled abundantly with accessories and books. In general, I like to keep a more minimalistic decor, and that is especially true in smaller spaces. By keeping the accessories to a minimum and the shapes and colors within a more limited range, we remove visual clutter from our field of vision and achieve a more harmonious, as well as more spacious feel. The furniture and the few accessories in this space help to create a satisfying composition, with the repetition of white and black motifs and the horizontal orientation of the objects. The two bowls, the only accessories visible in this photo, add a bit of tension with the organic shapes against the dominant rectilinear shapes of everything else. We will discuss accessories in more detail in the next module. The takeaways from this video are: make sure to divide your small room into functional zones and have some way of defining these zones even if they're on top of one another. Use furniture that is the right scale and proportion for your space. Consider using more flexible furniture that can serve multiple purposes and is easily moved around. Deploy the right color scheme and maximize vertical space to create the illusion of a bigger and taller space. Keep visual clutter to a minimum. Please see the pins on my Pinterest board, Small Rooms, for more photos and ideas. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.